This video is for the hashtag Weird Container Growing 25 collab, which is hosted by Gail over at Gail's Southern Living. Around 25 years ago, when I started praying for a new apartment, I saw a balcony similar to this one, covered in flowers. So when I prayed for a new apartment, I prayed for one with a balcony where I could grow some flowers. For the first 20 or so years that I lived here, I started flowers, but they didn't last too long because I kept forgetting to water them. But after I retired, I found myself going to food banks, and I'd get produce that wasn't all that fresh. So I started thinking it might be a good idea to grow some vegetables out on that balcony. But I didn't have a lot of money, and I started thinking about the cost of soil, planting supplies, and seeds. The Dollar Tree was still $1 back then, and they sold soil, and they sold seeds for $4 for $1. I was almost set. But after adding up the cost of the soil and the seeds, my budget was shot. But I still had a dream of planting a garden on this balcony. I was about to take a load down to the recycle bin, and I thought, maybe this would work. I had a soldering pen from a project, and I used that to poke holes in the top of my bottles. I didn't need to cut them quite in half. I cut just under the label on the water bottles, and it fit right inside. I had some leftover yarn, and I cut a small length of it, tied it in half with a real loose knot. Then I used my crochet hook and pulled it part of the way through. Now I've got a little wick, so when I put the pot in, now I can wick up the water from the bottom of the bottle, and in this top part, I can put soil and plant my plant. At first I started using peat pellets in there, but seed starting mix or any soil would work fine too. Might help to empty the water when you're doing this. I think these might be a little too short because they're not quite fitting down. But once I put soil in there, this top part will wick up the water and keep the soil just moist enough for the plant to take a drink anytime it wants to. Now, this works perfect for me because I've got ADHD and I forget everything. I get focused on something else, and I even forget that I have plants. These kind of snap together. So that one fits better. I need to retie that other one. And let's see. Got a 1 liter bottle. That'll work too. That one will work for a bigger plant. Don't tie the knot too tight, or it won't be able to wick up the water. You could use a needle for this too. If you have a darning needle, that might work easier. See, the two pieces of yarn are both going in the same direction to give it a little more I'm going to spread them out a little bit. That'll cover more of the area. Should have used a different color. There we go. We have now 3 seed starting containers for free. Now that water can get kind of scuzzy sitting down in that reservoir. Once it gets out in the sun, it tends to grow a lot of algae. So I'm going to show you what I do to prevent it. I start by saving and washing my old potato chip bags. For this big bottle, I'm going to use my dinner plate as a pattern and use a Sharpie to draw around it. Then I'll cut around it. This duct tape from the Dollar Tree works fine and holds it on even when it gets wet. I'll need to tape 2 bags together to go around it. And I'll need to trim this edge to make it even. I think this is going to fit around it. The algae needs light to grow, and this will block the light so it doesn't get scuzzy. This works great for the things that I grow in hydroponics too. I just need to eat a lot more potato chips because I don't have enough for all of them. Now I've got an old t-shirt that has a stain in it. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'll use that for a wick. Just set it down there and it's all ready for soil. Just make sure that the t-shirt that you use is made from a synthetic fabric. If you use something that's 100% cotton, it will rot before the end of the season. And here's what they looked like last summer when they were filled with tomatoes. The 2 on the right have the silver mylar potato chip bags. The 2 on the left are made from trash bags. There are 3 full-size tomatoes in each of these pots, and they seemed pretty happy there. These 12 plants kept me full of tomatoes as well as my neighbors. Well, those are just some of the weird containers that I found in the recycle bin. I'll be back with more. Be sure to check out the other videos in the hashtag WeirdContainerGrowing25 collab that's hosted by Gail over at Gail's Southern Living. And look around your house. I'm sure you've got something to top this. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you do, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment, even if you didn't like it. Have a great day.